we're going to review a little bit of some situation. We're going to, we may or may not review some violence, or maybe we'll just get into some more violence. As long as everyone is accepting that I'm going to ask for help, we're going to work with the book together so that we can actually learn this damn thing. And again, I remember that once you catch the combat, it's really good. But you have to learn. There's a curve, a little curve. I wouldn't be playing it if we hadn't been so excited at the happening and realized how much fun it would play. So, what happened to my important sheets? I covered them up. That's better. For ready access, right? Right. Okay. Well, I have some names and some connectivity that seemed logical to me, and not like I'm just shoving people into each other's laps, because it's a small town. It's not that hard. So the first thing is that the merchant who is there is David, and he is associated with the keep. He is, the way I see it is that he spends a certain amount of time traveling with this as an important point. So he gets along very well with the constable, and he gets along very well with everybody of any consequence. But he doesn't really live there in a permanent sense. He could certainly spend a season there and nobody would think differently. But his family is somewhere else. And then you would know, just through your interactions, that the alchemist from Golotha is contracted with him. It's not clear to you because you have not made a good impression. They haven't shared anything with you, how well they get along or anything specific about that. But they are definitely working together. And that is important for Osquen, who should know a little bit about this, just because it's part of the job that this is happening. Perhaps David was wrapped up with the fact that this herb problem is not being met, and has even probably supplied that guard who's with you. And that's also why he gave that job to you. Yeah, exactly. He's kind of busy working with this other thing. That apparently there is money back there in Golotha, and David wants some of it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, it's a valuable herb.
There's something important going on here that is worth his time. So it's good that you settled that whole. Gee, we'd like to stay here off season. When are you going back in the water?
Never.
I mean, later. Sometime maybe. Right.
Eventually. Bad winds. Bad seagulls start flying the right
direction. Exactly. Yeah. And the person who has perceived that more than anybody is Lothar, who has nothing better to do than to hang around the keep, where strangely he seems to be reasonably. I don't know if you're really a pet, but They don't mind, that the kid shows up and, steals an onion or, once in a while.
Yes, too.
Yeah. So they're okay with you. And let's see here. And you're the one who has picked up, I believe, if I remember correctly.
The two rumors.
Yeah, that there's different points of view that you are aware of now. So, at the moment, you would actually be conceivably rejoining David, who is talking at the keep. And also, just because there is not much other option, Petrain, the alchemist, is actually staying at the inn. Most likely.
Is that the same alchemist that I'm with? At the
Yes.
moment?
Yeah. And then we'll move to Arthur soon. You guys really are giving me a headache with Arthur and Luther. Yeah. Thanks a lot. So, and your mother, the clothier at the keep, who is fond of you,
Exactly.
and you have been raised with that family, and whatever your stepfather, your foster father thinks of that, who knows? But it says you're popular with your family, so he probably is fine with you.
Oh, yeah.
Even if, yeah.
That's
I don't even know if he knows that you're not legitimate. But,
yeah.
but even if he does, it's
He
okay
doesn't
by
care.
him. It's okay by him by now. Yeah. And so her name is a lot like yours. I have spelled it, I was having fun, YCG. WEN.
WE.
Pronounced Gwen.
Gwen, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
And let's see. So your father is named Gerd and is an ethnic Ivinian, as I think you mentioned, that your character was interested in Sarajin, right? The god.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so and it just seemed sensible, given everything that I've been reading here, is that they would be of the northern ethnic strain, probably a few generations in, so who knows what, but the names are persisting. So anything else? I think I have covered most, and provided a few names. Your father, the swordmaster, his name is Brian with an O.
How do you spell that?
Brion.
Okay.
Right. Brion.
Yep.
Brion. Actually, it wouldn't be French sounding. And you would know Brion because he's the swordmaster.
Okay.
So he may be a little bit above training the basic men at arms, but you know who he is, and he oversees the training at second hand. So, so he's an important person to you, even if you don't know him that well personally. And then let's see. I think got that. Lothar is kind of you kind of went your own way. I'm not quite sure how you ended up being a beggar, but I'm trying to think about in this town, since you're local, it might just be you're one of those guys who hangs around and doesn't really work.
Yeah, that's what more or less what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Not a beg like a classical beggar, but
Right.
the role of the beggar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, functionally that's what
Yes.
you do, even though people say, "Oh, he's just around." Kind of like that, right?
Not nobility or something like that.
Parasite.
Yeah, I am amused. I don't know. He's someone's friend.
Yeah.
Wasn't he your friend? I thought he was yours.
I am friendly.
What's he eating lunch with us for?
I'm not paying.
He is here sometimes. Other you're over there, almost there, but right now it's here.
It's okay. We know him. Whatever that means.
From where? I don't know, he's here.
Surely someone knows him.
That's right. Sorry, were you going to say something a second ago? Okay. So let's see here. I want to do for us to do just the tiniest bit of systemic stuff, and I better get out my little day planner too for the game, because they take that really seriously here. But if we go to combat, One thing we really ought to do is figure out how much weight you are carrying, because the penalties start right away, and they don't go away.
Okay.
So we would have to figure out more or less what you are wearing, and if necessary, depending on the situation, have a pretty good idea of all the small things that might add up. In a training situation, that would be very little, but still. Okay, so then we look at your mobility, so we have an idea of how fast you are. It's derived from your speed, and we would, and this plays a role in people get different distances for moving around. And there's a dodge derivation, which is based on your agility. So we will have you sooner or later. I think a lot of this is written on the back. So there's your dodge right there. I've calculated it for you. So I believe that's a 5. Sorry about the handwriting.
No, it's fine.
So
75 should be, because it is 15, so.
Yeah. Okay, and so we have your fatigue rate, but that we won't know your fatigue rate unless we know how much you are carrying. Then we have the different ways that your scores are going to be decreased. Your percentage will be decreased, and part of it is we will be adding the physical penalties. The encumbrance, fatigue, and injuries are going to be piling up. Let's see here. The name, weight, quality, attack, defense, class, and blunt edge points impact should be entered for each weapon. Let's do that for a couple of weapons. Are you a dagger fighter? Somebody?
I have a dagger.
Yeah, that's right. And you have lots of things. Pick one. And we're going to take your long knife.
Yeah,
I figure for
dagger,
anything.
I guess.
Well, I'm trying to do just one at a time.
Okay, then I'll take
So,
knife.
Yeah, I'm trying to be clear. Your character can be carrying whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right now, the numbers we are doing, I am just doing one per character. Yeah. So for you, Johan, well, let's do unarmed.
Or dagger.
Oh, you have one?
I do.
Okay. I think I just asked you that, and I think you just told me.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'm a little off tonight. I hope not. But let's see here. Okay. Well, let's just go right to that. So let's go to daggers. Weight 1. Weapon quality, is that what that is? Yes. That's going to be for a dagger is 11. What these weapon quality has to do with what happens when weapons lock up or take a hard hit in a parry. So that's the weapon quality is what will let us know what happens to it.
So then it's attack defense.
1 and 1.
Dr. One's here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The basic weapon.
Yeah.
And what's blunt be? Is that like when I hit someone with a hilt or?
Right.
Side.
Let's see here. We've got there's something called PR, but that doesn't apparently apply to you. I was just trying to find out what it was.
Piercing, perhaps.
No, piercing is coming.
PR, because that's not in the.
No,
okay, no, don't worry about that. Okay,
Yeah.
but you have BE and P, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Right, and that is in fact blunt or blow, edge or cut, and point or stab.
Okay.
Which is Eric's favorite.
Yeah.
So for the dagger, it is 1, 2, and 4.
Okay.
Which makes sense. It's a stabby. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we'll come back to some of these other things in just a moment. Weapon impact. What's your strength? On your turn, you must select and execute one action option. One. It is very unforgiving.
Mm.
And if there's the obvious one, don't do anything interesting. Move freely if you're not stuck to anyone else's position. And also people are sticky. So if there is an unengaged enemy and you pass him,
Okay.
right, they clothesline you and you have to fight right there. Right. And so let's see here. The classic rules from age-old role-playing and wargaming. You can engage an enemy, but you can only do so with half your move, right? You can't, sprint your full move. You're just going to end up sprinting your full move and ending up at somebody with no capacity to stick to them if you go too far. There's disengaging, there's getting up, there's doing anything interesting, finding something in your pocket, stringing your bow after it broke, stuff like that. Drawing a weapon, getting off and on a horse, blah, blah, blah. Grabbing, holding, wrestling, melee attack with a weapon, missile attack with a weapon, esoteric option for magic and psionics and divine intervention. Now, when we fight, we've got these diagrams that I pulled out last week. I won't go on too much longer. We will play. I just would like to just talk us through this once.
Yeah, it's good to learn the rules.
Yeah. And also, I need more brains than mine. Mine at work is really what I'm after here. Okay, so attack declaration. You say who you're hitting and what you're doing with what. If it has more than one aspect, you say. So you'd have to say, I stab with the dagger, or I cut with the dagger, or something like that. And then the targeting is by default body. Doesn't mean you'll just hit the body, but that's where you're aiming, unless you say otherwise. So if there's some other piece that's accessible to you and you want that piece, say so. Then here's where that diagram comes in, which is that one.
That one.
Right. Because now we're going to see what the defender says. So you're trying to stab somebody and they say, counterattack. I'm basically trying to get you first, which they can say even though it's your turn. Or dodge or whatever. You can see them all listed there.
And that's what's called like CF, MF, MS, CS.
No.
That's not. That's
No.
nothing.
Those are look at the red.
Success.
Look at the red and
Critical failure.
the axes.
Yeah.
Right? The red on the left is attack.
Yeah.
The top is defense.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you're seeing with CF and all that's critical failure, failure, irregular failure, or whatever it's called, and regular
Marginal success.
Yeah, marginal success, marginal failure,
Yeah.
and then critical success, critical failure.
And the BF4, AF.
Those are the results.
Mm.
We're going to get there in a moment.
Mm.
We're going to roll to see what happens. And so therefore we have, like with you, we had a critical success, or they attacked it with a critical success.
I attacked.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, in that case you wouldn't have gotten bumped.
I got a critical failure.
I know.
Or wait, no.
It was a critical. Yes, you had a critical failure. They had a critical success.
And and I tried to dodge or something.
Yeah, you dodged.
That is.
Yeah.
Now I remember.
Ignore.
I got hit in the abdomen.
Right.